Hi guys, Adventurous Allotment here. I'm on my allotment. I'm going to be doing a kind of monthly update I haven't done for a while. It's coming to the end of September now, so I thought I'd do an update at the end of the month sort of thing. It's the 25th today of September, so I'm going to go around and show you how everything's doing. Again, I'll divide it between the fruit and the ornamental and the greenhouse, etc. So basically we'll start with the Chilli Guava as we normally do, and this is actually as you can see, there's abundant fruit on this, and actually most of them are actually ready to pick. I think they just need a few more maybe a week or so on the plant, but the telltale signs of the plants, the berries being ripe in most cases, is there. So I'll give it another week and I'll probably harvest these, and my idea is this year I'm not going to just keep them and eat them. I'm going to try and make them into some kind of jam or preserve or something like that. Get some pectin or something and try and make these into some kind of jam or something else, because it'd be interesting to do something different with them. And there's so much of them, there's so many of them, that I'm sure I'd make at least a few jars of jam, especially when you mix it, when you boil it up with water and mix it. But yeah, so doing really well. Another bumper crop this year, as every year is, to be honest. So yeah, looks like we'll have some Chilli Guava jam this year. And when I do that video, I'll do a video about the process of making that. So that should be quite interesting. Moving along, this potted plant of course is the strawberry guava, or Psidium cattleyanum, and it started to grow flowers actually, because it did have a hard time when we had the drought. The flowers that were on there tended to drop, and only a few fruit actually set, and at this point they're not terribly big. You can see just a few of them. There's one here. You can probably see that just behind those emerging flowers and the red foliage there at the front. There's a little one there, and there's also there's one here as well. So yeah, they're growing, but they're not terribly big at this point. And there are more flowers coming out. Again, I'm probably going to keep this in the greenhouse this year. They seem to have tolerated the sort of mild frosts we've had in previous years without much sign of damage. And you know, one year we're going to get quite a substantial frost, so you know, it'll be taking its own. I'm thinking maybe I should probably just get a cutting going, just as an insurance policy for this plant, because it's nice. It's a nice plant, and I've never really truly had yet the fruit off it to its, you know, what it can be, the best it can possibly be. The size, the fruit can be bigger. It can be, I'm sure it can be sweeter than the last one I tasted. So yeah, we'll see about that. Going around now to the pomegranate, and again this year it was all about the growth. No flowers, no fruit. I have said in the past I would get rid of this if it didn't fruit, but I'm not sure anymore, because I don't know whether it'd take a while to flower anyway. So I'm happy to leave this in for now, and I think I'll just leave it for a few years. I won't cut it back, and I'll see where it goes from here, because it could just be that it's not old enough to flower, so I don't know yet. We'll see. So moving on, this is of course the Azores Blueberry. It's looking quite decent, given the heat really did affect it. In fact, you can still see some of the damage on the leaves from some of the browning there, but generally it's emerged quite well, and it's kind of sort of got over that, and some of the new leaves are a lot bigger, and I think and actually they're all covered in, probably need to sort this out. You can see they're all covered in black fly and aphids, so I'm gonna make sure that they're taken care of. But then yeah, we've got the berries on there, and they've been on there for a while, looking good, and there's quite a few bunches there. Again, I might actually try and make some kind of jam with these, because they're not really great for eating out of hand, as I've said before. And there's other YouTube channels that have tried this and said that it's not particularly that good. So it might be worth trying a jam, adding a bit of sugar and getting a bit of sweetness, because it is a bit of sour, it's a bit astringent. It's not really astringent actually, it's just sort of sour, but yeah. But doing well other than that. Definitely will have to deal with that black fly though. That issue is seems to be just on one stem, which is a bit strange, but yeah, I'll get rid of that. Moving over, I'll do the pineapple guava next, the Feijo. It's been a great year in terms of flower numbers and fruit numbers, and I've done a video fairly recently about this. So it flowered a load this year, and there's a lot of fruit on it, and I'll just point out that they are still developing. You can see them there. There's one right there, and then there's a few there. You can see one there, and there's one down there, and there's loads down here, and they're all fairly decent sizes so far. There's one there. I mean, I normally wouldn't expect these to get to ripe stage until about November or December, so they've got a fair way to go, but they're developing nicely. I think they'll be a good size by December, by November, as long as we don't have a serious frost. And these ones, that one for example, is probably the most advanced one, or one of the most advanced of all the fruit. This one of course also is growing new foliage. No, it's really good. I think this one will be a complete winner this year, and if we get them every year, if we get a similar size of fruit every year like this, then this will be a really, really nice shrub, and it will probably be one of my favourite fruits, no doubt, because I have tasted these before and they're really quite nice. But being in the UK, we don't usually have the summers to sort of ripen them all the way and make them as sweet as they do in countries like New Zealand and South American countries and Australia. Those guys really do really have a good climate for good Feijoas. There you go. But yeah, really promising so far. That's the Feijo, very promising. As I turn around, the fig, yeah, a bit of an interesting one. I think, as you can see, the fig leaves are starting to look a bit tired. They're starting to get black spots, fungus spots, and it's getting colder and it's getting wetter, and I think the fig's starting to shut down now slowly. And so it's probably going to be, unfortunately, that these main crops that have reached quite a good size in such a short amount of time, as you can see with these ones up here, yeah, you can see them, they probably won't make it this year. It's a shame, but that's what happens when you live in a climate that isn't particularly suitable for Mediterranean fruits as yet. And actually, if you look at some of these figs are starting to get marks on them. They're starting to turn a bit yellow, which is a sign that the process is shutting down and the sap is probably slowing down. So many of these figs, if not all of them, will probably fail. But it's been good, and maybe it's a good sign for some future Braber figs, although I haven't had much luck with those over the last 2 seasons. So we will see. I'll keep it for another year. We'll see what happens. It might be that I have to replace it with something more suitable for the climate, but we'll see. Anyway, moving on from the fig tree, we'll go for the citrus now. The citrus here, it's done really well this year. Nice. You can see it there. It's a bit dark at the moment on the video, but it's very healthy. It's very nice green. It's certainly kept its colour. Hasn't got any of that yellowing that you often get on citrus if there isn't enough nutrients in the soil. But yeah, we've got this. So one of the fruits fell off. We had 2 fruits. One was both on the same branch. One of them fell off. We've got one left, but it hasn't grown much, so I assume that one is also going to fall off. Maybe you can find it in here. So it's on this branch under here, and you can see it. It's down there, yeah. But the thing is, it's starting to get a bit scarred. I don't know whether that's because an insect has tried to eat it or not. But it's starting to become a bit paler as well, which suggests to me that it's probably just going to drop eventually. It's it's not going to carry on developing. But it got its first flowers this year, 2 flowers, and they both set, so it's good for the future, and hopefully next year we'll get like double that amount. Maybe we'll get 5 or 6 fruit on, and maybe some of them will make it. So yeah, also it's been thumbs up for this one. It's still a young plant, can't judge it really yet, but at least it's holding fruit for the summer, so yeah, that's good. Where to go next? Right, so basically I'll move. What I'll do is, I've done this part, so what I'll do is I'll go over to the Luma apiculata, which I will also be using for fruit, of course. I'll try and get all the fruit plants done together here, so I'm not like going back and forward. So for example, here is the Luma. It's hidden, and actually it's there's still flowers on it. If you see the white flowers there, they're the flowers of the Luma apiculata. I have not yet seen them turning to fruit, so I don't know, but they will turn to fruit. They will develop fruit, no doubt. But as you can see, there's the plant in there. It's being swamped at the moment by Physalis, but the plant's in there, and you can see it's healthy and it's grown well. So all good on that front. And talking of which, the Physalis, which is this big heart-shaped leaf, going round scrambling and climbing over everything and causing a bit of a nuisance, really, is that one. But it's had so much fruit already, and it's got so much more to come. In fact, I can see a few ripe fruit. There's one. You can tell that by the yellowish husk there. That usually signifies that the fruit is ready, as long as there's no green in it. And there's one there actually behind there that should be ready to eat. But we've got loads that are not yet developed, and there's still loads of flowers coming out, as you can see there. So Physalis has been one of those kind of like spectacular achievements this year, and it always is. It's easy to grow once it gets going. In our climate, it's rampant, as you can see, and it just gives you a lot of fruit, and it's really good. It's a nice addition. Trying to think what else we can see. I think I'll do my tea plants with this as well, because they're of course edible, but they're doing okay. There's a bit of new growth on this plant here, new leaves on it. The other plants are okay. They've been swamped a bit by this pelargonium, but I think what I'll do is I'll cut that back in a few weeks. I'll probably cut it back, and you can see the tea is doing fine. Some of them are not as some of the plants are not as big, but it'll take time for that. That's fine though, that's good. Everything else, I think that's it for the edible fruit, although I will cover more edible fruit later when I get into the greenhouse, because there is a bit of edible fruit there as well, but that is within the greenhouse remit, so I'll tell you that after this. But there is one more plant actually. I'll make this my last plant now on this edible section, and then in the next video I'll go on to the ornamentals. So the edible section, the next edible section plant is this fuchsia procumbens, and actually I've got a fruit here, but it's not ready yet. It's quite a size actually. You can see it there, see the red one, but unfortunately it's not ready yet because it needs to be soft. This fruit needs to be like a fuchsia berry. It is a fuchsia berry obviously, but it needs to maintain some kind of softness to it, and this is hard at the moment, so it's not ready, and so I can't make a judgment about how it tastes if it's not ready, if you know what I mean. So up to this point I'll leave that, hope that nothing eats it before I get to it. There's another one there. I hope nothing eats it before I get to it, and then maybe when it starts I'll do a taste test properly. But as you can see, there's loads of flowers as well, and they really are really nice little flowers. This is the sort of plant that could be put in the ornamental section, the ornamental video as well, just owing to its amazing flowers with purple pollen, as you can see. But anyway, yeah, so that pretty much caps it up for the edible section. So this has been the fruit. It's been a good year this year to cap. I mean, it it won't be the last video of the year, I don't think, to recap the fruit area, but it's certainly the last video in the growing season. So I'd say it's been a decent year, you know what I mean. Everything's still young though, and we're not going to get a whole lot of fruit with the plants at this size, so it's going to be limited, other than the Chilli Guava, which has always produced a huge amount of fruit. But anything else, really, it's still young. I'm not gonna judge it too harshly. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching the video. Please like, please subscribe, and I'll be back for the next video, which will be the ornamental part of this video. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you then.